All right, guys, some more next level TA on ADA. It's Brendan from Market Makers. Guys, I just put out the Bitcoin video. If you didn't see it, go ahead and watch that. Everything got affected by the NASDAQ entering a correction, and it's very close to crashing. So let's look at ADA, the ups and downs, and see what we can see, guys. See where we are in WYCKOFF. We're on the daily time frames where we're going to start, usually where we start on these videos. Guys, a couple things you need to look at here. As you can see, we had our selling climax candle, nice shadow, okay, good strong demand, formed our ceiling, formed our base, had an up thrust. We had a sign of weakness after the up thrust, very common, had a big up thrust just outside our trend channels. We got 3 of them, and then we did not catch ourselves and we dropped, okay? Now, ADA did something different than Bitcoin did, is it showed, you see the shadow on that candle? Showed some good demand there, okay? You see that? You got some good demand, and you got your second candle here in the daily time frame trying to hold on. Again, ADA, the altcoins, obviously very closely linked to Bitcoin, which is closely linked to the stock market, specifically the NASDAQ, okay? So we need to remember that when we see what happens on Monday when the NASDAQ opens, if it's going to crash, which it's about watch the Bitcoin video, but it's about 6 or 7% away from an actual crash, or if it's going to rebound and find some support. But let's get some projections on ADA. Let's see what's happening with ADA here. Let me turn my magnet on for this. Let's see if we can hold this, where we at on the fib levels. All of this is very important. And let's pull this down. Same way we did this with Bitcoin, guys. We're gonna go to the accumulation cycle over here to your left. Right? Let's get the cycle low there. Pull this over to the up thrust candle up top. Gee, what a coincidence. You think it's a coincidence we hit the 1 fib? You see that? Let me zoom in. So guys, the 1 fib. What is the 1 fib? It's 100% retracement, okay? What does that mean for people who aren't familiar with Fibonacci? Quite simply means this move from this down thrust up, okay, was 100% retraced on this down move, okay? Now, in FI trading, when you go to 100% retracement, if you go past it, your chances for this just being simply a retracement correction like this go down, okay? They go down significantly. If you go past the 1 fib, the 100% retracement, then most likely you're doing something like this, going to a deeper target like the 1618, 2618. It's a reversal wave if you start crossing that 1 fib, okay? So it's always important to hold the 1 fib. Doesn't have to be, because everything in the market is dictated by supply and demand, selling and buying. But let's look at this with the trend-based fib. So we can see we hit the 1 fib, we wick through it, we're holding it. We can see how accurate our trend channels are because this drop price, as you can see. Let's look at the trend-based fib a couple different ways and see if we can get some projections here on the daily. I'm going to start this back out here at our previous accumulation level. Put that back on. Let's go from our high there in range to our low there in range up to our up thrust high, okay? The 1618. 72,792. As you can see, using the trend-based fib, which remember captures a complete impulse wave and a complete retracement, you've already lost the 1 fib, okay? So you've already lost 1 fib. You can see how accurate this trend-based fib was. Look at your up thrust hitting your 1 fib, okay? So at this point right here, price already entered a 100% retracement, and since then you've just gone down, okay? You came back up to test that resistance, and you fell down. So that's where you're at on this. So basically, if you don't hold that 1 fib on the simple retracement, it looks like you're going down to 72,792, which is basically 73 cents, which is basically what, a 33% retracement from where you're at now. Price will be coming back down here to look for support and try to hold support. Again, it's going to be tied to NASDAQ, going to be tied to what Bitcoin's doing, okay? So you want to keep that in mind when you're looking at ADA. It found some support based off that 1 fib, the simple retracement, but just like we saw with Bitcoin, we were holding the 1 fib from the previous accumulation box, and once we lost that, we came down and hit our lower target, okay? Or very close to hitting our lower target, which is the trend-based fib. You can see the exact same thing repeat with ADA. If you lose that 1 fib and come down, you're going to come down to the 1618 of 73 cents for ADA. Again, that's a significant price decline from $1.06. So you want to watch that. Not enough candles here on the daily. This does look like a traditional selling climax candle, which means, you know, when you throw your trend lines up on here, like we always talk about, you had your base, your selling climax base, you had your ceiling established, As you can see, you had your up thrust outside of your trading range, your up thrust outside your trading range. This one gave you your down thrust candle, which gave you a nice little spring, but this up thrust, nothing caught you, right? Nothing caught you on the way down for this one. So right now you're going through the Wyckoff steps once again in potentially accumulation lower than you were accumulating before, which would mean this would be your base. This is a daily time frame, so one candle is not enough to tell you if that's where you're establishing your ceiling at, but this would potentially be your base, and you could accumulate in here, repeat these steps, and try to break back out, okay? And try to break back out. But let's go ahead and get rid of some of these fibs. Let's get rid of this. And let's get a closer projection. Let's do this. See where we're at in a trend-based fib going this way. So you can see you get slightly different information on a shallower wave retracement here, showing you 79 cents would be your 1618. This is why I use the larger waves, the larger impulse waves, because they tend to be more accurate. But you can see, I mean, you get information from this, okay? Because even this smaller trend-based fib wave, a complete impulse wave, a complete retracement, look where your ceiling is right now. Your ceiling is right there at the 100% retracement. 100% retracement of this move back to this move back to where you are now is one fib right here. So it's 100% retracement. So you can see that right now what price is doing, and that's currently your ceiling, where you need to break back above that to really get a little bit more bullish. So we have to see what happens with that. Let's go ahead and look at the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, we had a nice white swan pattern form, and again, with the when Bitcoin dumped, it didn't matter, blew right through it. Look at the demand candle. Okay, you see this? You're selling climax right here. You have a nice long shadow. This shows you strong demand. But then you look at these candles. It's all part of VSA, guys. Volume spread analysis. It's part of Wyckoff. You look at these shadows. You're getting a lot of supply dumped on you. So this is a very, very tight range. Okay, you're in an extremely tight range because the market is in indecision. It doesn't know what's going to happen, and you can see that in the price. You can see it in, like, if you like the fear and greed, which I don't go by that at all. Very small sample size, but if you see that in the price, but you see it in the extended markets as well. Okay, so when the bigger markets, the stock markets like the NDX, start to fall, liquidity gets pulled from higher volatility assets. Okay, they want safe plays. They pull liquidity, things start to dump. Why does this matter? Because the top 5 altcoins are 90+% owned by whales and institutions. The top 5 altcoins are 90+% owned by whales and institutions. Retail owns 10% or less of the top 5 alts. So when they pull money from here, it's going to drop. When they put money in, it's going to pop. That's just the way the altcoin market works in the crypto space, okay? Guys, and of course, if we go ahead and do things like Ichi and everything, you already know it's going to be below everything. I mean, we fell down. We're below the moving averages. We got a red cloud. A Kumo twist occurred right here, the green cloud to red cloud. Got a thick red cloud forming. All of this is too early, even on the 4-hour time frame. You only have 4 candles to analyze here, okay? It's too early to say exactly what's happening in the marketplace. You know, we got to look at Sunday. We are in a low volume weekend. We'll have some more candles printing, but a lot of the altcoin market's going to rest on Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin market's going to rest on what happens on Monday with the NDX when that opens. If that market continues to dump, it could be really nasty for Bitcoin and for the altcoin market. So just be aware, you are holding key support for the time being. You hit your 1 fib, and if you start falling below that number will be, oh gosh, what was that number again? I'm going to try, I got to start remembering to tell you guys this as I do it. But that number is very important to hold, okay? So let's go ahead and pull that back again. Pull that number back, get up to our up thrust here. And that gives us the 1 fib at just, what, 99 cents. Got to hold that 99-cent mark, which, I mean, you're only 5.5 cents away from it right now. So you got to hold that 99-cent mark, or else ADA could be looking to move down towards the low 70s, okay? 72 to 79 cents. Be aware of that. Just remember, It's your money. It's your investment choices. It's your risk profile, your risk appetite. Okay. People have different goals in these spaces. Some people are investors. Some people got in really young at the 1 penny, 5 penny range. Other people bought in yesterday. So just everybody assess your own risk appetite. I'm here to give you the key levels you have to hold and give you an outlook based on probability, because TA is about probability, not certainty. But you want to hold that 1 fib at 99 cents. Okay. If you lose the 1 fib, start getting candle closes below it. Look at Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin dropping? Again, all of these things are related. Watch that Bitcoin video again. All right, guys, another video coming soon. Talk to you guys later. Happy trading. Have a good night.